Pamela, and you are watching Pam Entertainment TV, where we review movies, television series, and do celebrity legal news. Also, join me for my pop culture chats. If you'd like to support the channel, please like, comment, and subscribe. My Venmo and Cash App is below. Thank you so much, and let's get started.
Hello, people. Hello. As you all are coming in, please make sure that you are hitting this like button. And if you like what you're seeing, please make sure that you are subscribing. I'd really appreciate that. I will tell you all again, I've got my second channel. This is a show that should be on my second channel. However, you all need to go over and to subscribe to that second channel. Is down here below. PETV Reacts. Once I get 200 subscribers, I will be able to go live on that channel and we'll be able to do that for you. So make sure that you all go and subscribe to that channel. I will collaborate with that channel and I will have this live placed on that channel. But as I'm here too, I am also collaborating with Danny. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Danny Does It All now. I went from Danny Does This and That to Danny Does It All because I just keep accumulating things to do. So I don't know what I do anymore, but you can look at my bio and figure it all out. Yeah, so now I'm doing movie reviews with Pam.
So we're going to talk about, y'all, what are we reviewing today? Let me just put this on the stage real here. We are reviewing Netflix, His and Hers. We're doing our reaction and review. We're going to do an in-depth review. So join us. We're going to cover all episodes. Make sure that you, make sure you all hit that like button. We're going to cover all episodes. I will tell you this. Let me make sure that I got everything right. Here's the different channels of different social media platforms you can find me and Danny on. Make sure that you all subscribe. Make sure that you all subscribe. It's right there on the thing. And I think Danny will probably put something down in the comment box of comment section so that you all can do that. Now, let me just tell y'all real quick. If you have not seen this series on Netflix and you don't want to be spoiled, this is your opportunity to come off this video now. Because we are going to be spoiling. We are going to be going in and out of the order in regards to what's going on in the scenes. We're going to be talking about all the different things that we liked. We're going to talk about the things we did not like. We are going to go in and out of this series. So if you don't want to be spoiled, this is your opportunity to leave. I'm going to give y'all 5 seconds. So you know how y'all do. Oh my God, I can't believe you said that. Well, and also, too, this is one of those series that has some twists and turns, and I will be cussing. And I'm just going to let you know. I think we've hit the 2-minute mark to where we're good. YouTube won't kind of bleep us if we get the saying a little expletives on this thing. But I'm going to tell you, I'm going to cuss. I'm not going to do any bad cussing, but I'm going to tell you, I'm going to get the cussing. Because this thing had me... First, I was bored. Then I was intrigued. Then I was in awe. Then I was mad. Then I was in awe, and then I was in mad again. So we're gonna go up. So the name of the episode is His and Hers, and this is adapted from a book from a writer named Alice Feeney. Now, Alice Feeney is a British writer and a British writer and journalist. This show, the adaptation from the book, in the book, it happened in a British village, but for Netflix, they did it to Americanized it, so to speak. And so, again, here's a little blurb about Alice. I'm not going to go ahead and read this, but it did say that she worked for the BBC for about 15 years in news. So she has that insight in regards to, British journalism and things like that, which kind of made me kind of think that I'm wondering if Anna was adapted after herself, just because of being in the journalist, being in that, what do you call it, profession. And I've had too much coffee, so I may be flubbing over my words as well. But these are all of her books, and you see it highlighted here, his and hers right here. And these, again, these are all of her books. If you like this series, and if you're more interested in any of the books, like for my book heads that want to read, definitely go check out. I may check out the book version to see what the biggest differences are from the show. So I'm going to read the synopsis real quick. Did we lose Danny? Looks like we lost Danny, but she'll be back. I'm going to read the synopsis. It is a journalist investigates a murder in her hometown, clashing with a suspicious detective. Two sides to every story, his and hers.
I'm back.
Okay, because I said we lost. I'm just talking and we lost you, child. So again, it's based on Alison Feeney's book. Follows TV anchor Anna returning to her hometown for a murder investigation involving her estranged detective husband Jack, uncovering dark secrets as she digs into this case, leading to dramatic confrontations, a potential return to anchoring, and reveals about their past tragedies. We're talking about Charlotte's death, culminating
Yes.
in a resolution where they can reconcile and adopt. Well, we won't go into the whole synopsis because we just want to go over that, but you can look at it and see. So this movie stars Tessa Thompson. If you're not familiar with Tessa Thompson, she was in Creed. She was just in a movie called Hedda. She must be into her British phase because Hedda is also adapted from a British
Is it?
play. She's also starred with Michael B. Jordan in Creed. She also, I'm trying to think of what that other
She
thing
was
she's
in with that weird movie. Sorry to disturb you.
What was
That
the
call
movie that she was in? Passing. I can't remember what that was.
Passing. Yeah, she was in Passing.
Oh, that was the name of it because I knew it was about
Mhm.
passing. I just can't remember
Even
what the
though
name.
she doesn't pass, but we will
Well, she
allow
wasn't
it.
trying to, but her friend was.
No, but I'm saying neither one of them passed. They could have used what's her name? That
Maybe
Duchess
that's
of
why
York.
maybe that's why they were doing it in black and white and
Yeah,
blur.
because I'm like, there are plenty of half black actresses that actually can pass, like Robin Thicke's ex-wife, the
Yeah.
Duchess of York, her. There's a few of them.
So let's see. So we got Tessa Thompson. We've got John Barenthal. He plays Jack. We've got Pablo Schreiber. He plays Richard. And then it just goes on and goes on. We got Suni Imani. She plays Priya. I'm just trying to get the big people out. We got Crystal Fox. Crystal Fox plays in a lot of Tyler Perry shows. But she is Alice, the
Mhm.
mother. We got Rebecca Rittenhouse. She is Lexi, and they go on and go on. And we'll be referring back to this. I will if I mess up a name or two. So
Mhm.
all right. So make sure, as you all are coming in, as you all are here, y'all, please make sure y'all are hitting that like button. Please making sure you're hitting that like button, and also make sure that you are subscribing to the channel as you need to. I really appreciate it. All right, so let's get into episode 1. Danny.
Mhm.
Oh Lord. Oh Lord. I don't know what is going on with my screen. I can't really. So I'm not going to be able to see the comments or anything because I had to make my screen bigger. If I start shaking and stuff like that, moving too slow, please tell me. I'll move out of this thing. I'll move out of this view. All right.
Yeah, that's why I had to restart because mine was acting up too. I don't
Yeah,
know.
because it'll every now and then I'll get to moving slow and it looks like I'm moving slow.
Mhm.
Here we go. All right. Here we go. Now the episode starts off funny to me because, like I said, when I didn't know who the characters were, I didn't understand. But we see Anna in the rain, and she is walking down this road, and then she stops at this car, and there are people in this car making out.
Well, they're doing more
And
than making out, but yeah.
well, they in there doing the nasty. So
Doing the thing.
and she stops, she looks, and then she goes back home. And when she goes back home, she's throwing away some things and stuff like that. I didn't really pay attention to it because I really should have, but because I couldn't, anyway. she was throwing away some stuff, and then she was bringing it out to the trash. And when she went out to the trash, there was this bus with this anchor lady on it and stuff like that. And she kind of looked at it, and then she kind of gave herself a breath and exhale, and then she gets up the next morning going to work. Now, when I saw that, I had just assumed that, she has been going to work all the time. But we find out in episode 1 that she had taken a year off. And in between her taking a year off, she was replaced, her anchor job, she was replaced by Lexi. And Lexi has done a contract, and now she is the anchor because they were not sure that she was coming back. Her apparently her contract is either expired or was about to expire. But anyway, her boss was telling her, look, I can't get you back on the anchor. So then Anna says, well, hey, let me be a field reporter. And he told her, well, you're going to get field reporter pay. He was very definite to tell her her pay was going to drop. She says, let me be a field reporter and let me go out to, I can't think of what the name of the town is. Dalgonia, I think.
Dahlonega.
Thank you. Let me go to Dahlonega and let me investigate, be a field reporter on this case. So, and then she requested Richard. Now, why is it significant that she requested Richard as the cameraman?
We'll find out.
Well, we can talk about it. She requested Richard because Richard is Lexi's husband.
Right.
And so let me just take a pause here because I do want to talk about Anna, because Tessa played Anna as if she was some conniving heifer. That's how she played her to me. So when she wanted to go do this murder or anything like that, I was getting the feeling like, because see, first of all, they didn't tell us that her and Jack were married. I didn't get that from them. I just saw her. Like I said, she recognized who was in the car. And then once Jack came on the scene as a detective, I recognized, like, that's that man that was doing the nasty in the truck. But it didn't correlate like, oh, okay, that was the same night. But anyway, I'm just trying to move us on. Anna realizes, I don't think she realized who was dead, because again, the girl is, as you see in the thing, and I had to put a blur over all of her little stuff. But Anna recognizes, I guess, she doesn't recognize who the person is deceased at this moment, but she does realize that her Jack, who we also find is her estranged husband because they're still married, we recognize that he knows who the murder victim is because she remembered them last night doing the funky Watusi. So when she did this, the way she was coming off to me, she came off like very, she was doing this as far as being very vindictive. She was going to get back at him for her seeing him have sex with this woman. What were your thoughts when you first saw episode 1? And you
my first impression, but then I was like, that's too easy. But of course, that was the whole point. My first impression was she did it because you see the rain, you see her in the rain. But then I'm like, nah, that's too easy because then the show's over, right?
Right.
And I was gonna be pissed if it was just that predictable. I don't know if I want to say vindictive or get backish, only because, but then that's my own biases from having lived in Atlanta almost 10 years and having a certain opinion of the types of women that replaced her at her job. And, having worked in corporate for 20 years, I'm Team Anna as far as all the way up until this point. Because, we later find out that the main reason why she was replaced is because she literally just dropped off the face of the earth. There was no formal family leave that she took. Because I found it a little weird too. I'm like, they're just going to give her job away after a year. Like, no warning. She didn't know it was coming. She didn't see it coming because she seemed like she didn't know that they were going to give her job away. But then we find out that she abandoned the job. She abandoned the job. She abandoned her life. She abandoned everything due to a situation that we'll talk about soon. So nobody knew where she was.
Right.
And so the natural progression was to kind of slide the next person in her place. And it just happened to be this woman who she has a negative history with. We don't find that out till later, but you can tell even in this first episode that they had some kind of negative history. And that's why she requested to use her husband as the cameraman. Because even the boss said, like, why are you using him? You know what I mean? So I was Team Anna all the way from the beginning. I didn't see it as vindictive. It is vindictive and mean, but I didn't see it as a negative thing because I automatically knew what that was all about. You know, that whole.
Well, this is why, in terms of Lexi, as far as being vindictive, I was like, she's doing this because because like I said, there is a relationship that no one, even Anna, didn't realize that she had with this Lexi woman until later on. But there was a rivalry.
And I'm always like, a rivalry, right?
There was a rivalry, and I'm like, you're taking the cameraman because it's like, oh, okay, I'm just going to, since she stuck it to me by taking my job, because apparently they've been working at this station for a minute.
Right. And so the lady just took the opportunity that when what happened and she vanished. Oh, I'm gonna take her job, and was unapologetic about it. And clearly they already had beef anyway.
They had beef,
just just a
as far as we knew as the audience, they were having beef from working together.
And before she left, right?
Yeah, and so it was taking her husband. I was like, "Oh, Anna, you know, you scandalous for taking that girl's husband, off with you on this thing." And then you was even more scandalous. We find out after you go to the crime scene, after you do everything like that, and you talk to your ex-husband and ask him, does he know the victim? You even more scandalous because you was in there doing the funky Watusi with the cameraman.
And doing it well. I was taking notes. I was like, oh, okay. So that, all right.
You was doing the funky Watusi.
And doing it well.
Baby. So we're going to go into, and we can, again, like I said, we can definitely morph into episodes 2 and 3. But I wanted to go on before we moved into this. Let me make sure this is in the right spot. These are the people that were suspicious to me going from after episode 1, episode 2, episode 3. Let me because see, I didn't realize this. I'm glad I made a copy of this. I asked them. So episode 1 was entitled The Return. Episode 2 was entitled Secrets and Suspicions. Episode 3 is entitled The Anchor Desk. Okay, so we're in episodes 1, 2, and 3 concurrently. We're going to talk about them all together. So again, we find out that let me these are my suspicious people, but where am I? Here we go. Let me get down here to the connections that we're going to do. So you see Anna in the middle. And Anna is the linchpin in my opinion. So if we go over here, this is Rachel. Rachel is the one that was deceased with on the car at the opening of the episode. She is the one who Jack, who's up here, who is Anna's it was Anna's husband, is investigating the murder with his partner Priya over here. Now, Jack's main suspect is Rachel's husband over here named Clyde. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, Anna has a relationship we find out that Anna and Rachel went to school together. So let me just break down who went to school because it's always a connection to this school. So we have Anna right here. You have Zoe. Now, Zoe is the mother of Meg. But Zoe also is the sister of Jack, who is married to Anna. Okay.
And Jack's living with Zoe because Anna left him.
Yes. So then you have Rachel. Rachel is connected to Anna because they went to school together. They all went to school. Rachel, Zoe, and Anna went to school together. Rachel is married to Clyde. Now, Clyde is an older man. He's rich. Rachel is married to him, but they've always had an open relationship situation because he ain't doing it. He got the money, but he ain't doing it like she needed to be done.
He can't.
Yeah. So then we go down here.
Work.
We go down here to Helen. I forgot to put her name. Poor Helen. We go down here to Helen Wang. Helen Wang is connected to Anna because, again, she was part of this group right here. Zoe, Rachel, Helen, and Anna. They were all part of this group together. It was these four. They were the foremost.
That one down there.
Hold on. Hold on. See, there you go.
Sorry.
Now, I'm going to go up here. You have Alice up here. Now, Alice is Anna's mother. Alice is connected to Andrea. Now, Andrea, I didn't put Andrea's folks, but Alice was hired as their housekeeper. This is how Anna was able to go to the posh school that Rachel, Helen, and Zoe could go to. Anna and Zoe were the, what did that guy call Zoe? Payment plan kids.
Oh yeah.
They were the payment plan kids. So Alice was able to get the recommendation from Andrea's parents. Andrea is connected to Anna because they all went to school together. I can't remember if they hung in the same clique. I don't think they hung in the same clique together, but they all went to school together. Now, as Danny alluded to, the young lady down here, she went to school together with the why is it doing this? Sorry, y'all. I just don't like what it. There we go. So Catherine down here went to school with all of them. Now, she wasn't a buddy. She was bullied by particularly these three. She was.
They let her hang with them for some unknown reason, but
because Rachel was insistent on getting Catherine because she wanted to bully. Rachel and Zoe were the two big bullies. Helen and Anna just kind of went along to get along. They pushed Anna to invite Catherine to the group. Okay. So I wanted to get those connections. Everybody get these connections in. This is Lexi. Lexi is married to Richard, and we'll get into what Lexi's connection to everything as we continue. But I really wanted to get you all to get the connections before we start to episode 2. So in episode 2 and 3, you got Jack and Priya trying to poke holes in their key suspect's alibi, and Clyde is their key suspect. That's all Jack is trying to point this murder on is the husband. Anna returns to her alma mater for a contentious interview with an old classmate, which was Helen. We learned that Anna went to a private school. Her mom worked as a cleaner. Jack is trying to cover up his involvement with the footprints at the thing. So in episode 1, he made a big statement. I didn't catch it until episode 2 or 3 when he kept saying, oh, well, everybody has walked the crime scene. We're not going to be able to get no prints or anything like that. We might as well just call it a wash. But Priya didn't call it a wash. Priya said, I took the cast. We made sure that we got the cast and stuff like that from who was there because we've got bare feet. And I want y'all to keep bare feet in your mind. Please keep that barefoot in your mind. She says, and this is a barefoot prints, and these are from the victim. We've got all these little different things. Also, too, by the time episode 2 and 3 comes around, we find out that Jack has the victim's phone. So now he's trying to cover up the footprints. He's trying to cover up the kind of car, the car cast and stuff like that, or what kind of car and truck or whatever was at the scene. He's also trying to cover up the fact that he has the phone. Now, what's interesting about Clyde realizes that they don't have the phone, and he also realizes that the phone is still turned on. He is trying to cover up some stuff that's on the phone. So he keeps calling her phone so that it'll ring, so that it will die down. And he keeps calling. How did we know that he keeps calling? Because the damn phone is in Jack's pocket, and Jack keeps looking and see that he's calling, and he keeps seeing that the phone, but I don't know why he just didn't plug the phone up. Now, that was one of those plot things.
Yeah, it was stupid because he kept telling the guy, he was like, stop calling the phone because you're going to kill the battery. But my thing is, they never clarified if they had Find My on the phone, because they literally could have found it in Jack's car in a matter of minutes. But we're going to pretend like it ain't 2026 and we can't do Find My. Yeah. And even if Find My wasn't on the phone, the cell phone plans, you just subpoena them and they'll tell you where the phone is at.
So that was done. But you remember Jack canceled them. Priya found out that Jack had canceled them to find the stuff about the cell phones.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're going to continue. Let's get in there. So we learn Anna went to private school. He's trying to cover up. Anna jumps at a chance to return at the anchor desk because Lexi set her up. Now that I'm sorry, but that was a good setup. Lexi played like she was sick or she was gone.
She went missing. Yeah, they just didn't know where she was for one day.
Yeah, and she played like she wasn't going to come back, and then they got Anna all in there, and she played that real cool. Then come back to the anchor desk. What 30 seconds before the show was supposed to start. Oh, I thought that was like, damn, she really. I would have just sat there.
Yeah, I'd have been like, I'd have looked at her like, yeah, so in tonight's news.
Right, I'd just sat there. But that was her job. She was, Anna was not Anna had to give it up because again, she's only hired as a field reporter. She's not hired as the anchor anymore.
Yeah.
So she had to give it up. Alice's decline forces some tough conversation. Now, Alice is Anna's mother. And Anna's mother is showing signs of dementia real bad.
Sundowning, to be specific.
Yes, she's showing big signs of this. But I couldn't tell if they were doing this as a flashback or did they have it like she had an actual moment. I think she had an actual moment where they took her home because Anna was kind of asking her to come live with her.
Yeah, they took her home a couple of times.
Yeah,
but we know why now.
Yeah. And then we learned that the reason why Anna was out of missing MIA for a year is that she lost a baby. Now, I will just tell you what happened. Anna and Jack were going out. I don't know if they went out to dinner. They did something. They were going to go out. Anna wanted to stay home with the baby. Jack was like, the baby's okay. She's like, no, the baby seems a little fussy. Something don't seem a little right with the baby. Maybe I should stay home. That was that mother's intuition. And he was like, come on, we need to go. We need to do this. So she goes out. And apparently the baby died of SIDS.
SIDS, yeah.
So
presumably, because that was weird too, but
yeah, because at first I thought that her mama did something because
I thought like, what?
Yeah, because this relationship, the problem I had with the plot and how they established this relationship between her and her mom, it was almost that we knew that there was an estrangement. And then they said that the mother had, she was showing signs, but Anna had a real coldness to her mother. And we didn't find out till later episodes why she had a coldness to her mother. Because again, the mother was there watching the baby while they were out. And, I guess she went to check on the baby and she found out that the baby wasn't breathing. So when they come home, there's police, there's all kinds of stuff going on everywhere and stuff like that. So it was like it was almost like the coldness was coming from Anna blaming her mother for her baby's death when it really wasn't anything. And then she was also having guilt because she knew that there was something wrong and she didn't press the issue.
Listen to her instinct. Yeah.
Yes, she didn't press the issue. So we kind of knew this. So let's continue. And if I'm going too fast, if I'm talking too fast and stuff like that, just kind of let me know. Let's get to this. So I want to get to this section right here when we talk about at the point of episode. Get in my notes, child. So at the point of episode 4, so we have in the corner right here, you have Rachel, who is deceased. This is the friend. You also have Helen, who is deceased. She was stabbed. Rachel was stabbed. She was stabbed. You have Andrea. Now, we never saw her death on the show, but her death is kind of pivotal. She was killed in a boating accident. But she went to school with Anna, Rachel, and Helen, but she was a sister to Catherine. Now, I couldn't figure out, did she die after they were in school, or did she die while they were in school? I couldn't figure.
That's a good question.
Because
it might have died after they graduated. Because it seems as though they were on some kind of summer break and they were on the lake. and she died. And then it don't. She didn't even show up until the flashback of
Catherine. She was having
yeah.
her. All right. And I will tell you, she is deceased, but by episode 4 and 5, she was still alive.
Mm-hmm.
She was still alive. So let's just go into. I'm trying to figure out how I want to start this. Let's. Do you want to start it by character, or do you want to just start it by
As far as their deaths?
Yeah, I'd like to just like what was just to kind of surround it. So we have Jack and Priya investigating the death of Rachel.
Right.
Okay?
Now you got to keep in mind, Priya is that overachieving, nosy, loud and wrong partner that was aggravating the crap out of me from the beginning, and then it just got progressively worse.
Yes.
And I was not even on the husband's side at all, but she was annoying me so bad. I was almost hoping he was the killer, and then she would be next. That's how annoying she was. But I would say one at a time. So Rachel, we already know she dead from the minute the show starts, right?
Right.
We already established that.
Let's do it like this. Let's do it as the investigation. Let's do it as the investigation because we'll hit everything as we go with the investigation. So we got Rachel dead.
Right. Rachel's dead. So then, obviously Anna, as the reporter, she's going to everybody, trying to get intel as much as she can. So she goes to Helen next at the school. They have a little, because Helen, she was a bully too, though.
Right.
She was one of the top 3 in that group that was doing all the bullying. So basically it carried into adulthood because when Anna went to go speak to her at the school, she was talking slick to her. And then she even at the end of the conversation took a dig at her dead child. Mm-hmm. And I was like, she got to go. I was like, somebody need to get her and get her now. And almost as soon as I said that, she was dead by the next episode. And I was like, good deal.
And to let the audience know is that once Anna was always a half a step ahead of the investigation. And like I said, I think Anna kind of clicked in early that once Helen was pruned from the timeline, she kind of clicked it. It had something to do with her, but she wasn't really sure yet. Mm-hmm. But yes. So as far as the investigation, because Danny didn't like Priya. I liked Priya because Priya kept, my mind works like a little like Priya's. I want the investigation to go. Jack was aggravating me because he was trying to hone in so much on Clyde over here that he wasn't really investigating because of the fact that he knew that he had slept with the victim the night before.
Right.
And he also knew that had he had disclosed it, he would have been off the investigation. Mm-hmm. And in my opinion, in regards, and I'm just saying how my mind works, he needed to have been gone because GBI would have come in and they would have investigated. And I think that they would have gotten closer to what was going on, and Anna would have been actually the main suspect. Mm-hmm. But anyway, Priya was making sure that the elements of the investigation was getting done. Jack was mentoring her in a sense, but he was also mentoring her and then trying to dissuade her from doing the stuff that she needed to do. And she
because she didn't know at the time that he slept with the victim.
Right.
So if she would have found that out, and like she eventually did, she would have bungled the whole thing. Mm-hmm. Because they would have started making him a suspect, and he, obviously was not. We find out, and then the whole thing would have got messed up. So it was, I didn't know at that point, but I just knew she was aggravating me, and she was in the way.
Yeah,
because I think she was overachieving and doing too much. Yeah.
We needed her character because again, she was moving the investigation, because if we had followed Jack through the investigation, it just would have went, it was already going wonky. But
Yeah,
for the audience, we needed Priya because Priya kept us in the investigation, like,
yeah.
oh, okay, this is what's happening and this is what happened. She kept doing, she kept doing the job that we would have assumed that Jack would have done.
She's
And
following
also,
the rules.
yes. And also Jack has a little history back, and I just remember this too because he was a detective out of Atlanta. And at one point in time, Atlanta had a reputation about their detectives and all this other stuff. So he was coming out of that type of I can't get the word out.
Dynamic.
Yes.
Yeah, that I wouldn't
So
say necessarily corruption because it's nowhere near like New York and Chicago and those other,
right, but it was,
but it's a different kind of,
yeah, it was like, it's almost
yeah.
like, okay, this person seems like they would have had more to do. We're just going to continue to just move. You know what I'm saying? He
Mhm.
was pressing and pressing and pressing so much on Clyde until until the investigation was just wrapped around about how they thought Clyde was going to do it. And that's the kind of atmosphere he comes from in Atlanta. They
Mhm.
don't really do like, okay, we're going to investigate this and there's these 5 subjects and we're going to figure out how to, it's like, oh,
Right.
which
This one looks good. Let's just go with this one.
right. And then we're going to continue to hound on this one until we figure out that this is the person that we want them to do instead of doing I'm
Yeah.
not saying that they weren't investigating, but there was just lazy investigation.
Mhm.
So Anna goes, she's one step ahead of the investigation. She goes see Helen. Like you said, they had a little confrontation. Helen is a little bully and she puts little digs and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Once that dig happened and Anna leaves there, we find Helen is pruned from the timeline. So
Mhm.
now we've got Rachel and we have Helen pruned from the timeline. Uh, Zoe is starting to get a little nervous because she's realizing that 2 of her friends, people that she hung around, is pruned from the timeline. And she expresses this to her brother Jack. And
Mhm.
Jack was like, you talking about y'all was friends, but after high school, y'all didn't even hang together. Y'all were in different situations and stuff like that. Rachel and Helen look like they went to college, and it looks like Zoe just kind of just became the neighborhood hoe. Because again, she didn't
But
know who
she
her baby.
was, because remember the husband said, they had an agreement. It wasn't part of the agreement that she did not sleep with anybody in the town, but she did anyway. Um, he said something along the lines of he knew he couldn't perform, and so he basically let her do whatever. But he said that part of the agreement was that she did not do it in the town so as to not embarrass him.
No. I'm not talking about Rachel. I'm talking about Zoe. I'm talking about Zoe right here.
Oh, she was a hoe too?
Yes, because she didn't know who Max Daddy was. I'm talking about let me go back. So Zoe is getting
Oh,
nervous.
Zoe's okay. I'm sorry, I'm getting thrown up. I'm bad with names. The detective's sister.
The
Yeah, she
detective says,
gave off crackhead meth addict vibes. I didn't really pay her much
right,
attention because
right.
she gave off dirty, trash bomb vibes.
Yeah. She
She was leaving the little girl home alone.
I binge watched it too. Yeah, and then it was like she's drinking and stuff, and it's like her child is in all these different things, and Jack is taking Meg to all these different things, but he's also doing this investigation, and she's like, "Oh, I can't do it because you know how so and so." Like, what the hell does so and so have to do with your daughter going to a certain type of practice?
Mm-hmm.
What does all of that have to do with anything? But Zoe is getting nervous. We don't understand at that point, but she's getting real nervous because see, now Rachel is gone, Helen is gone, and then she also does a bullying dig to Anna too. And then Anna kind of tells her, all right. She tells her something, and Zoe says something about, was it like watch your back or something, and Anna was like,
Mm-hmm.
you watch your back. Because at this point, I think Zoe kind of figured out, hey, this all has to do with Catherine.
Mm-hmm.
This may have to do with Catherine and what happened with Catherine. I don't know. She's feeling nervous because again, 2 of her high school friends are gone, and they were the 3 musketeers of bullying.
Mm-hmm. But it was
So
weird to me when she said that Anna wasn't who you think she is, because at the end of the day, that we find out that Anna wasn't even the problem in all of that.
right, I think that she wanted. I think she was alluding to the essay.
Mm-hmm.
I think she was alluding to it, but she, in her crooked mind, in their crooked mind, it wasn't essay. It was her being a hoe,
Right.
Anna being a hoe. And so that was the allude. That's what she was trying to allude. Like, you don't even know who Anna is. I don't know how Anna presented herself to you, but you don't know who she is.
And
And
what
I,
does that even mean? Because we find out there was no is, because she ain't did nothing.
right, 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 right. So where are we? We are still in episode. We're in three. We're in four. So Anna, again, she has a level of manipulation tactics that she's employing that gives you the idea that she might be the killer. Because when she went to the mayor's and she was telling him, "Hey, you need to get a handle on what's going on. You need to figure out you need to do a press conference. You need to do," because she wanted to get all the whole town together to kind of uh
Mm-hmm.
pressure the police department to do something. My girl Priya was on it, but Jack was trying his best. "Hey, we don't need to do this. We don't need to talk to the town because we don't have any suspects. We don't have anything like this." But Anna convinces the mayor that they need to have a press conference, because that's where her picture right here comes from. And this is part of where they were doing this press conference. And then the town was eating Jack up.
Yeah.
Do we have a serial killer? What's going on? Where are you in this investigation? We see that these two people are connected with the school. Zoe, you went to the school. You were a pay as you go type student at the school. What is going on? And then Zoe's like, "You just need to let everybody investigate." The town is upset now because, again, they're thinking about their children. "Oh my God, somebody's trying to get our kids. Somebody's trying to do all of this." Not understanding that it had to do with the school. So that, in my head's like, what is the connection between Anna, Zoe, Anna, Rachel, and Helen?
Mm-hmm.
And what was that connection at school? So then we start getting flashbacks. And in these flashbacks, we started getting a couple of things. One thing, we knew that Anna and Rachel brought Anna into the group.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Rachel brought Anna into the group because I think Rachel wanted to sleep with Anna. She
Yeah.
wanted to have some. I think that that's what she wanted to do. She
Because it
thought
was revealed that Rachel and what's the Asian girl's name?
Helen.
They were both, well, Helen was a full lesbian, and then Rachel was bi. So yeah, that was pretty much the motivation ish.
Yeah. And I think Rachel was trying to sleep with her because there was a flashback where they were getting ready for something. Was it the birthday party? Was it Anna's
They were
birthday party?
getting they were getting ready. It was Anna's Sweet 16.
Okay.
And because they bought her
A
a
bra.
yeah.
Was it Victoria's Secrets?
Victoria's Secret Wonder bra that did nothing. I remember those bras too. I ain't gonna front, didn't do nothing for me either back then. But yeah.
So we learn in the flashbacks, and you feel it. I think in those flashbacks, those actresses in those flashbacks, they provided great tension for me because you knew Rachel was a little smarmy. And you know that Helen was a follower, and then you had Zoe was pretty much a follower. I always felt like Rachel was the ringleader. But she always gave like she was going to be real nice to you, but then it's just like Anna, it just seemed more sexual with Anna. Like they wanted to have relationships with Anna, and Anna wasn't pulling from that, but they were going through. I think that they were looking like, "Oh well, she's the black girl. we can have sex with the black girl because the black girl should be down with having sex. And Anna wasn't like that. Anna wasn't raised like that. She wasn't like that. But Anna didn't mind being being adjacent or being aligned with the popular girls. And we see that as such in another flashback where, let me go back up. Let me make sure, because, like I said, the connections we have. So we have down here, I don't know why it keeps doing that. But we have Catherine down here at the bottom, right here. Because if I put my mouse on it, it just seems to do that. But we have Catherine down here. Now, Catherine was going to the school, but she was considered to be an outcast because she was heavy set. People didn't, and then she was heavy set, and she just was very plainish. She didn't make herself up. She didn't do. She had scraggly.
And remember, they did that thing with her too. They had her. What was it? They put pee in her drink or something.
That's what they told her. I don't know what she put in her drink. She said it tasted funny, but
yeah.
So let me set this flashback up. So Anna, Zoe, Rachel, and Helen are sitting at a table by themselves. Again, they were popular people at the school. Catherine over here was sitting at a table by herself. Rachel made it a point that she was going to she asked Anna to invite Catherine over. Anna goes over because Anna doesn't at that point. Anna doesn't really care. She doesn't really care about her being heavy set. She really doesn't care. She's like, "Come over, you can sit." And she's and Catherine's like, "No, I don't think that they'd want me there." And that's why I was questioning about when did this person pass away. But anyway,
yeah. But we only realized she existed
in a separate flashback.
No, remember it started with Priya looking up. She was in the yearbook. Oh, what happened? Because remember when Zoe was in the office with Jack, scared that she was going to be next. Priya was ear hustling.
Okay.
And then when Jack ran out, I can't remember what happened. And Jack ran out. Left her there with Priya, and Priya was like, what were you saying? And she pulled out the yearbook and she pointed out Catherine. And so that made Priya Google Catherine, but everything she Googled popped Andrea's name up in her death. Remember? When she Googled Catherine's name, a lot of stuff came up with Andrea with her obituary, and she couldn't figure out who Andrea was.
Right, because Catherine really stopped existing around that point, didn't she? As far as
right, because we find out later she's not Catherine anymore.
Right,
and that's the reason why when Priya Googled her, only thing came up was her sister and her being named in the obituary.
Right. Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So Andrea didn't exist at all before that point.
Well, the reason why I was asking where was Andrea doing this particular time,
I think she was older than them.
Oh,
she was older than them.
So she was probably out of
school. She probably that graduated or was in college, because remember she made a comment.
That was where I was going.
She made a comment to Catherine about her weight, and obviously she was a bully too. And then what happened, but.
Got you, because I was trying to figure out where was Andrea when Catherine was being bullied, but I figured
she was bullying her ass too.
So I figured that she probably was. I was thinking that she was sitting at a table over there, but now it makes better sense that she had probably graduated the previous year or something like that, and then after the summer after, I guess maybe that's what I could understand. The summer after all of that happened, maybe that's when she passed away.
Right. That summer, right.
Got you. Okay. Y'all, I'm telling you, it was a lot going on. There was a lot going on. So where were we? So we're in this flashback to where Rachel asks Anna to invite Catherine to the table. Anna invites Catherine to the table. Rachel does this little switcheroo where she knocks over the drink, and then she gives Anna She gives Rachel, excuse me, Rachel gives Catherine another drink, and then Catherine says, "This tastes kind of funny." And then that's when they hee ha ha talk about,
Mhm.
"Oh, well, we put pee in it."
Right.
And so they were giggling and laughing. Anna wasn't giggling and laughing, but Catherine just remembered, hey, you were the one that brought me to the table, so there's no way that I'm gonna believe that you weren't in on the joke too. Somehow,
Right.
some way, there's a whole nother flashback where Rachel apologizes to Catherine and all this other stuff, because I want to get you the picture, because again, this is high school, and we all know about high school drama and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And maybe I'll do a talk about high school drama that went on when I was in high school that made me
I wish
understand.
somebody would have. Good job.
Anyway,
I got picked on in middle school for a little bit.
yeah,
I used to fight boys in elementary school.
oh girl,
But yeah, I wish the hell they would have did something like that to me in high school. I'd probably be in jail right now.
I mean, just awful, just awful. But so they then decide during Anna's sweet 16 birthday or something like that, everybody apologizes to Catherine.
Mhm.
And they all get together, like maybe a week or so prior to the birthday or something like that. They're all hanging together, acting like they're good friends and all of this good stuff like this. And but these three have a plan: Zoe, Rachel, and Helen.
Mhm.
They have a plan for Anna and Catherine that Anna and Catherine don't know anything about. Because again, remember, Zoe, Rachel, and Helen at this time, we find out, are the mean kids.
Mhm.
So let's get into, and we're talking about the investigation. I want to make sure also too, Jack is also spiraling. Jack is spiraling because of the fact that he knew that he was the last person that slept with Rachel before her body was found. He
Mhm.
also realizes that, he still loves Anna, and he's upset because Anna had hungry sex with Richard
And he
down.
heard it, remember?
Yeah, he heard it. Number three, he's got issue. He wants Clyde to be the person, but he is realizing that at every step of the way, he's fucking up. He's got the phone. He's the tire tracks, the footprints, and everything is leading. It's leading a path to him, but Priya doesn't know it yet. She's just investigating.
Mhm.
And then you remember that time when when the sheriff asked them to give them a report about what's going on, and Priya stood up and she started pointing out some stuff like that, and it
Mhm.
was to the point that Jack. Do you remember that? I can't remember it verbatim, but do you remember a little bit what she was pointing out? That she had an issue. She had an issue. She pointed a little issue at Jack at that point.
Yeah, I was kind of getting lost during all that stuff too, because I just was like, yeah, let's just get to the story. So like a lot of that in between press conference stuff was kind of like I was kind of zoning in and out. You know me. And then
Mm-hmm.
once I'm going, I ain't coming back. So I got it. And I certainly wasn't rewinding it, because then I would have did the same thing 3 or 4 times in a row. But Priya was definitely suspecting Jack almost from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And she started asking him questions from the first time when Anna asked him if he knew the victim.
Because Jack was screwing up. The first thing that like I said, he had the phone. He was desperate to get the phone open, and so he
Mm-hmm.
went back to the coroner's office where Rachel's body was, and he went in there faking like he couldn't find his wedding ring, that he dropped
Mm-hmm.
his wedding ring, because he was trying to get her phone. He was putting her phone to her face to get it to turn on. He eventually opened Rachel's eyes up
Eyes, yeah, that's
so
so
that the
ghetto.
so that the phone would come up. And then that's when he's found all those pictures of Clyde. Now Clyde, again, remember we talked about Clyde being the diabetic.
He's an impotent diabetic, but wait, there's more.
He's a pegger. He likes to be pegged. He
And
likes to be
strangled.
and dominated and strangled and all this other stuff. So he couldn't do it the traditional way. So he found another way that he was able to get
Get
his
off.
jollies rocked, because being pegged, you will hit that prostate and tingle it a little bit, and you'll be.
Oh God. Must we get into all the gory? I think we got it.
I'm sorry. I told y'all I was gonna get into get
I
into it.
think we understand what pegging entails and what the point of it is.
I'm sorry, y'all. When I find out stuff, I want to make sure I share. I promise. I'm
We're
sorry. I'm
not all
so sorry.
look, we're not all prudes.
So with that information, with Jack thinking that, oh well, that's why he doesn't want to go phone. Because here's my question: Jack never did give up the phone, did he?
Mm-mm.
Jack never gave up the
He
phone. Now
never did.
He showed Clyde the picture. So let's get into Jack really quick as far as the investigation, because Jack wanted to be able to use that to show that he didn't want this to get out. And then that Rachel was, and like Danny had mentioned earlier, that Rachel was whoring around. He just told her that he didn't want her to whore around with the locals. She can do it with any other person,
But
anywhere, but she
right.
couldn't do it with the locals. And I think Rachel kept true to that until she started doing it with Jack. Okay. So Jack is spiraling out of control of this. So Priya has found out a couple of things in regards to the investigation. Number one, she was questioning when she went to the coroner's office. When the coroner said, hey, and Jack was here because he was looking for his wedding ring, she was questioning, why would Jack be here looking for his wedding ring? Because again, as Danny says, she is nosy posy. She pays attention to too much and asks too many damn questions. She realized Jack has never worn his wedding ring. So why would he be looking for his wedding ring when he never really wore his wedding ring?
Right.
Number two, she went to look for the phone records because she was waiting for the phone records on Rachel's phone to figure out where it was and where they can ping. The people at the cell phone service said, hey, that was canceled by Jack. Another suspicious thing about Jack. What was the third thing that was suspicious? When she was ear hustling with Zoe, she went to look up Catherine, and she came up with Andrea and the thing, and it was something. She made sure that she did a presentation about that, saying, hey, Anna has a connection to all of this. Anna has a connection, and plus Anna has a connection to Jack. I think that Jack might be trying to protect his sister because Zoe has a connection, and he might be trying to protect Anna because Anna is his wife. And she was trying to let them know that, hey, I'm throwing this out there to let you know, because she was basically wanting the sheriff to say, we need to get GBI on this. I think you're too close to this, Jack. But Jack kind of convinced him otherwise or anything like that, gave him a few times. So Jack was going over to Clyde over here because he was going to arrest Clyde. And in the midst of him talking about arresting Clyde, he lets it slip that he slept with Rachel. And then Clyde was like, you know what? Let me tell you something. I know that I am freak. I am the definition of Freaky Friday. But what you will not do is, just because I'm the definition of Freaky Friday, what you will not do is try to make it seem like I am a murderer.
Right.
And you can't be investigating this anyway because you're the one that slept with my wife, aka the victim. So this absolutely is not going to go anywhere. And so Jack was trying to prevent him and trying to arrest him, but
And he was about to call. Yeah, he was about to call the people. He kept saying, basically trying to arrest him, and he was like, "Yeah, okay," and kept walking away from him. Got in the car,
and went away because he's like, "No, you're not going to make me the scapegoat when I know something about you." And he's a man that uses whatever connections that he has to make sure that he's okay. And Jack is really, really spiraling. Meanwhile, we started getting flat. Oh, I want to also talk about you. Now, I know y'all, I sound like I'm all over the place, but it was a lot of stuff going on through these episodes that I can't remember if it was episode 3 or episode 5, but it was a lot of stuff going through. So Jack, during his investigation, it leads him to the cemetery. We get to the cemetery. He runs into his old coach at the cemetery. He finds out that there are cameras in the cemetery that pull out on the road that they were on out there. Why does everybody always want to get freaky near a cemetery?
I don't know. I've never in my life. It's never crossed my mind.
I don't understand. In all of these movies, everybody is trying to get freaky near the cemetery. But anyway,
not once ever.
he looks at he looks at the film and he realizes he notices someone going to the grave site of his daughter. And
Mm-hmm.
he also noticed the cars. I think, did he see his truck go by? And
Mm-hmm.
he sees his cars and stuff go by. So he gets a copy of that. I don't think Priya had a copy of that yet. I don't think she had any of that yet. But in the investigation, we all figure out that everything is moving back towards the school and moving back towards the school. And then Anna has a flashback. Now, Anna has a flashback of them going out into the woods,
The woods,
and
yeah.
they are celebrating her birthday and everything like that. Now, one thing that I want to note, again, we talk about Anna, and I told you to put a pin on her being a journalist and a reporter. This is something that she has always wanted to do. And so she would always record herself doing the news or doing something
Mhm.
like the news or something like that. So she always had her camcorder with her. Now, for you young people, I know you're like, what's a camcorder? You know, we don't, back in the day, in the 2000s, early 2000s, you didn't record on your phone. You
First of all, you
had,
couldn't text or anything on your phone. We had
yeah.
flip phones, and then you didn't even really have those if you couldn't afford it.
And if you had a, even if you even the texting on there was such shorthand because you had to use, you didn't have a
One one
QWERTY keyboard.
one three
Yeah.
three four four.
Yeah, you had to have a QWERTY, you didn't have a keyboard. So the texting, the way it was, if you look on your phone,
The
well, you don't
letters
even,
and the number. Yeah, it was
yeah,
just stupid.
yeah, it was, yeah, and that would take too long. You would have to literally one for, you'd have to do one for A, then one for B, and
Yeah,
one for C. It was a whole nother lifetime. So people
yeah.
usually had little camcorders, and the camcorders ranged in all different sizes to the ones like if you watch the news and you'll see the
The
cameramen
shoulder
have,
joints. Yeah.
yeah, you had those, and then you
You had
had the
the
little
hand
small
one.
ones, and then you had the ones that tuck neatly into your hand. And
Yeah.
that's the one that Anna had. She had one that tucked neatly into her hand. So they go out, they're recording, they're doing all kinds of stuff out there and everything like that. And Anna has a flashback of these three men that just come out of nowhere. What we think at first, and they are trying to overtake Catherine, and that's where it ends. And so what the audience sees is these three men these three men essayed Catherine, and everybody was there and everybody watched, because we find out that Rachel had put Anna's and Catherine's image out online or in chat rooms. Was it online or was it in chat rooms?
Chat. It would have been chat rooms because that
Yeah,
was 2000.
4 or 5.
Yeah, it was real early on.
She put their image out on chat rooms and invited these three men to come over to the thing, because again, Zoe, Rachel, and Helen thought that this kind of stuff was funny.
Right.
These three thought that was funny. That was funny. That was entertainment for them. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I'm not trying to be moral police or anything. I'm just telling you what these three high school girls going to high school in a small town in Georgia thought was funny.
Right. But that still wasn't funny. Like I don't give
It
a damn
wasn't
where you're
funny.
from.
It wasn't funny, but I'm just trying to let you all know what they thought was funny. It ends up, where are we? Because I'm still on my connection. So then we have the deceased. We have these three deceased. These three, Zoe is the last person to become deceased. She becomes deceased after the town hall meeting. She is RIP'd in her bathroom. She was stabbed in the bathtub while she was taking a bath. And
Yeah.
Jack ends up finding her body. But at this point, they are looking at Jack as being apostle, because Danny's friend Priya has pretty much called in on Jack. Like, Jack is the one that did this. I think that Jack did all of this stuff. We're having issues and problems. Now, let me go back, y'all, because I missed one huge connection. Lexi. Lexi is married to Richard, right? Lexi is the news anchor that has taken over Anna's job. Her and Anna have been going back and forth for probably a number of years in regards to her news job, right?
Mm-hmm.
When Anna was getting points, or Anna was getting more recognition from her coverage of what was going on in, was it Dahlonega?
Dahlonega, yeah.
Dahlonega in the town. So Lexi decides that she's going to leave her anchoring job and go down to Dahlonega to interview Clyde. And she was going to make that, she called Richard and told Richard, you meet me down. I'm on my way there. You meet me there because I'm going to interview Clyde, because she was going to try to steal Anna's thunder, because after this town hall meeting, she realized that people were wanting to see people were wanting to see Anna again. She wasn't having none of that. So she decides to go down there, and she has she interviews the victim's husband, gets his perspective, get his little sad story and stuff out there. And then she berates Richard, because I think didn't Anna make a little dig to Lexi that she slept with her husband, or she knew something about her husband.
Yeah, she gave her a hint. She didn't say it outright.
Right.
And then Lexi, I think she had already figured it out, because when she went up there to basically retrieve her husband, because she made him do the camera work on the interview with Clyde too. And she made it very clear that she knew that they were sleeping together. Right. Because he even went so far as, after the whole interview with Clyde, he was like, what are you doing? Like, you playing? Basically, he was like, you playing yourself. Right. Because you're trying to outshine Anna, because she did this press conference. And then the wife made some kind of remark that she coming back for her job and her man.
Right. So we got Lexi down here, baby. Lexi high foots it down there. She's doing all the stuff she needs to do. I don't remember if Anna and Lexi had a little confrontation in Dahlonega. I don't believe they did, but I do remember that Richard and Jack had a little confrontation, because Jack finds out.
Yeah, exactly.
Jack found out that Richard has a past for domestic violence, and Priya finds out that where Richard lived is where Rachel. Because Rachel slept with Richard, right? So Rachel slept with Richard, and she found out that Rachel had gone there because
she went to his house in Atlanta, his apartment in Atlanta, and the wife was there. Lexi was there, and they got into some kind of scuffle, and he choked her or something.
Yeah, or did Lexi slap her?
Black eye. Something happened. A slap mark was on her face, because the guy in the town that also slept with Rachel said that when he was there, he drove her there, and she came to the car with a big on her face, and I can't remember how it traced back to Richard being the one that slapped her, but yeah.
So. Well, they assumed Richard slapped her because of his DV conviction.
Right.
They assumed that he slapped her because of the DV conviction. So now let's get to these ample and ripe connections, because now everybody is deceased. Zoe is deceased, Rachel is deceased, and Helen is deceased. So we find out that it has everything to do with stemming from Anna's Sweet 16 party. So what happened at the Sweet 16 party? So let me set it up in from Anna's vision, and from what they kind of what Priya them come up with, anything like that. They find out that these three did this party for Anna. They were doing this party for Anna. They also invited Catherine to this party. When they get to the party, Rachel has been Yeah, they was in the chat rooms because Rachel, I think it was Rachel and Helen had been acting as if they were Anna and Catherine.
Mm-hmm.
And they invited these men because they used their pictures. They invited these men over so they could watch them have sex with them.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, the men only knew them from their chat room profiles and everything like that. So all of these people thought they knew that they were coming for Catherine, and they knew that they were coming for Anna, but Catherine and Anna didn't know anything about it. And they, like I said, these three girls thought that this stuff was ha ha he funny.
But how do you? Yeah,
I don't want to
I
know.
wish they would have gotten a little deeper into, other than the fact that you're rich, you're white, you're naturally going to be a sociopath. Clearly, like, why would you think that would be funny?
I
Like,
don't know.
that's a whole other level of depravity. But you know what it reminds me of, and I'm aging myself. Remember that movie Heathers?
Mm-mm.
You never saw Heathers?
Mm-mm.
Oh, and I'm pronouncing my R because you have to see, because I normally would say Heathers, but Heathers, watch that. It's from, it must have been like 8. I was a kid when it came out. I probably was about 10 or so, but
I'm
it
gonna
was
have to
a
watch it.
Christian
I see him.
Slater, and
Winona Ryder.
Winona Ryder. It's the same kind of thing. Bunch of girl
Gotcha.
bullies, and they go one by one picking them off.
Right.
But they do it creatively.
Okay. I'm gonna have to
They're
go
the
back and watch that.
outcasts. They're the outcasts of the town and the school, and so
Oh,
they
it's on
go.
Tubi. I'm gonna have to watch
Yeah,
it
it's on
tonight.
Tubi. It's free. It's really good. It's like one of those cult movies, like Ferris Bueller's Day Off or Pretty
Gotcha.
in Pink. It's one of those type of cult that you have to have. If you grew up in the 80s, you had to have seen it.
Yeah,
But it reminds me of Heather. So watch it and let me know what you think.
Yes.
But
So-
worse though, because I'm just like, Heathers didn't do nothing like that. The Heathers never.
Not the Heathers.
Yeah, because everybody's name was Heather. I don't know. I still don't get it. But yeah, everybody's name was Heather, and they all were assholes. And it was just. It should have been Karens. They should have named it Karens.
Oh my God. Well, they didn't. They didn't have that.
They didn't have Karen back then. I'm surprised nobody remembered the movie Heathers and used that instead of Karen.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out even where did the name. Who was the first Karen to make it to
well,
be?
Apparently there's this comedian named I lost his name. I saw a few movies with him in it. White comedian from Canada. He did a stand-up routine, and in the stand-up routine, it was a lady that was a Karen. Okay. But he didn't refer to her as a Karen. He just said Karen just to say, okay, sit down, Karen. Like, shut up, Karen. And then they got it from there.
Gotcha. Because I was trying to figure out where they get the name from. But anyway, we're just going to continue. So what we find at the end, so let me just kind of push some things forward. Priya found out she couldn't find much on Catherine, but she found stuff on Andrea. Mm-hmm. And what they realized is how did they come up with, let me just bump. Catherine is actually Lexi. After her sister died, Catherine became Lexi some kind of way, and she lost a lot of weight, and she was mad. She dyed her hair. She lost the weight. She dyed her hair, and she had a bone to pick with Anna. And so she was going to make sure that she took anything and everything from Anna, because remember, these three girls over here asked Anna to invite Catherine into the group. When Catherine was invited into the group at this and at the Sweet 16 birthday party, these men were trying to SA Catherine. Mm-hmm. They push Catherine down. They get ready to do it, but Catherine fights and she gets away. Mm-hmm. We then find out that the men turned their eyes from Catherine over to Anna. Mm-hmm. And they ended up essaying Anna with Zoe, Rachel, and Helen watching from the sideline. And
not just watching, smiling and singing happy birthday during the whole thing.
So Anna asked Catherine to help her out because, Anna was bigger. So she was able to kind of push them off. And Catherine told Anna, fuck you. And she ran off and she left. So she ran off and left. Anna has all of this stuff tied up in there. Now, I don't know how she got involved with the brother or whatever, but this is what happened at this. All right. So once all of this happened to Anna made sure that she heard they graduated from high school. Anna went to college. Anna became a success, and she never really came home to see her mother. Okay.
Right.
So Anna was gone. So Lexi, aka Catherine, had a beef with Anna, and she pretty much had a beef with everybody else. So
justifiably so.
Justifiably so.
Yeah.
So Priya did her investigation, and you please explain to the part where Jack punches her out.
Okay, now I'm trying to remember how she even started suspecting him for real.
She understood that she understood that he had slept with he had slept with Rachel, and that he was slowing the investigation down, and she was putting the ties of everything about the ring at the coroner's office, the
all those pieces. Was it when she did the Google search is that what sent her looking for him? I'm trying to remember what sent her looking for him. Because that was the same night that Zoe was scared she was going to be next, and then she spoke to Priya. Priya showed her the yearbook. She showed Priya the yearbook. Priya started Googling Andrea, realized that Andrea was dead, couldn't figure out who she was in the whole thing because she didn't realize that Catherine was Lexi. Mm-hmm. Then because Zoe got killed that same night.
Right.
He went.
Jack went home and found Zoe.
Found Zoe dead. And then Priya pulls up. He comes out.
He's covered in blood.
But in the interim, he gets a phone call from Anna because Anna ends up going with Richard to he and Lexi's parents' boathouse because their hotel reservation gets canceled by who we think was Lexi. Okay, so everybody on the news team is staying in this boutique hotel in Dahlonega. Because at this point, it's a serial killer. So now everybody's up there. Every news channel known to man, they're in this boutique hotel. The same hotel that Anna is staying in, Richard is staying in. They were the first two initially, and they stayed the whole time. But then when Lexi came into town and all the other reporters came into town, she presumably spitefully canceled their reservation. So when they got back to the hotel, they didn't have anywhere to sleep because the lady at the desk said, "Oh, Lexi, didn't she say Lexi called?" Well, somebody from the news station called and said you didn't need the rooms. So when they got there, all their stuff was in the lobby. So Richard's like, all right, Lexi's parents got a house about 30 minutes from here. Let's go stay there. And we're not going to have sex, nothing. We're just going to stay there so we can have somewhere to sleep.
Yeah, because Anna was like, you didn't tell me that Lexi was from here. You didn't tell me that you think. And he was like, well, it didn't. I didn't think
it didn't occur to me to tell you that. Right. So then it's starting to come together, but she still doesn't really get it yet.
Right.
So then she gets over to the house, realizes that Catherine is Lexi because she's seeing all these family pictures and yada, yada, yada. So she gets scared. Richard still don't know what the hell's going on. He mad because he can't get no coochie. He hates his wife and he probably hates his job. So I'm thinking, oh, maybe he set her up and brought her up there so they could kill her. But it turns out he don't even know what the hell's going on. He mad about some other shit.
Yeah.
So in the meantime, Jack goes back home, finds his sister dead in the tub because she already assumed she was next. And indeed she was. Shirt full of blood because he finds her. He's, trying to get her out the tub or whatever he did to get all the blood on his shirt. And here comes Priya. I'm still trying to remember what made her come to the house and try to arrest him. What made her come to the house to try to arrest him?
I still think it has something to do with
Was it the phone?
no, it was because he tried to arrest Clyde. You remember he tried to arrest Clyde, and she was like, there's so much, because you remember the sheriff said that GBI was coming in 24 hours or 48 hours, and they were pretty much off the case or whatever. But I think it was because he tried to arrest Clyde and because he was slowing down the investigation.
So she just was like, all right. So that's why she was pissing me off.
Yeah.
So she gets to the house. He comes outside because Anna calls, because now it's getting hot in that house because Richard is about to knock her out too.
Right.
And she thinks he has something to do with it, but he really doesn't. And so she calls and she's like, I'm at yada, yada. I think she sends the location. So he rushes out trying to get to her in the midst of finding his sister dead. And here's Priya outside with her gun drawn, ready to shoot him if he doesn't let her arrest him.
Right.
And so he knocks her out, and I was so happy. I think I was too happy, and goes on his merry little way. And obviously she follows him because I guess that getting knocked out wasn't enough. Never calls for backup, which was weird. And
well, she called for backup after she came too.
But she followed him.
Right, right.
And at that point, there was no backup when she got to the house that she followed him to.
Oh, okay.
Right. She followed him to the lake house. And, I don't know if you want to tell what happened, once.
Yes, they follow to the lake. She follows him to the lake house. While at the lake house, I don't know if Anna locked Richard into the
Anna locked him into, I don't know what that was, but it was some kind of gate.
Yeah.
As she managed to lock him behind, and then the wife shows up, Lexi shows up. So that's when I'm thinking, did they set her up?
I don't know if it was it had to have been.
What made Lexi show up?
Well, because Lexi knew that Richard was going to go over to the house. I think Lexi knew that Richard was going to then go to their home. I think that they said, I don't know if Richard knew anything. I think Richard knew that he was trying to get him and his wife. He was trying to make sure that his wife was okay. And I guess she made him say, you bring Anna over here because I'm going to confront her about sleeping you. I think it was something to that nature.
Okay, got you. Because I still couldn't figure that part out once.
That's why Lexi canceled the rooms. And that's why he kind of mentioned, he was like, oh, well, I got over there. And I think because, he was in conversation with her. I don't remember the stuff that he said with her, but she was in conversation. And I think it was more so he was in the hot seat with Lexi because he knew that he had slept with Anna, and she knew that he slept with Anna.
But Lexi never canceled the rooms, we find out. So that's why I'm still trying to figure out how she knew where he would go.
The only thing I can think of is Lexi told him to go there.
Yeah, because my thing is, if Lexi had canceled the rooms, then it would make sense because she canceled it and she knew he would go there because he had nowhere else to go.
Right.
But we find out she didn't cancel the rooms. So how did she know he was there?
Unless she was still following.
It's a lot of little narrative.
It was a lot of little plot holes because I can't tell you how she knew that. But she's there. Lexi is there. And she confronts Anna to let Anna know that, hey, I know you were there. I'm actually Catherine. Anna, it clicks, and then they get to fighting and stuff like that, going back and forth. They get to fighting. It is my I'm just going to get into it. Is my let's get into it. So the killer is revealed, and they reveal it as Lexi because of the fact that they're Anna is apologizing because of the fact of what happened that night on Anna's birthday. Her and Catherine has had an issue with Anna and all the rest of them. So Anna makes the clear assumption that Lexi was the one that killed all the things. Lexi's just issue is that she has with them is the fact that they did not like her. They made her drink Coke laced with pee, and they tried to.
She was the original rape target,
right?
Then her sister turns around, calls her fat, so she kills her sister.
So all of this is happening, and Priya and Jack get to the boathouse. Priya is a crack shot. She ends up because now mind you, Lexi and Anna are in the midst of a big old tussle. They're in a
Mhm.
big old fight, all of this other stuff. Priya is
She's a sharpshooter, apparently.
apparently, because what happened was Anna had a gun. Anna always carries her gun because Richard made a mention about, okay, Annie Oakley, you got your gun. And Anna was basically, I don't have to get ready. I stay ready. I don't have to get ready, basically.
Like
And
me.
so Anna had her gun and she was shooting. I think she shot at Richard, if I'm not mistaken.
She shot all the bullets at Richard.
Yeah, she shot all the bullets at Richard. The gun falls down. Lexi sees the gun. I guess she thinks the gun has bullets in it. She goes to get the gun after her and Anna are fighting and stuff. And I mean, I'm sorry, but that fight was delicious. I
Yeah,
mean, they was
it was a
fighting and
good fake
hitting.
fight.
It didn't look fake. It just because they were suplexing on tables. And it was just a
Yeah.
whole big old fight. I was like, that fight. Now, see, I can get into these two fighting.
That's my kind of fight.
Yeah, just it was a good fight. It was a good, clear fight. So Lexi has a gun on Anna. She picks up the gun. Priya sees her through the window. She shoots the gun. It goes off. Lexi gets a good shot right here in the forehead. Lexi is dead. She's a serial killer. Everybody is okay with that.
Everybody's happy, right?
Everybody's happy. Anna and Jack get back together. They raise little Megan together, little Meg together, because Zoe has been pruned from the timeline. Anna, because at that point, Anna doesn't reveal to Jack at all what happened in the woods, other than they attacked Catherine. But she doesn't reveal everything that's going on in the woods, right? So then about a year or so later, Anna has her job back. She's the anchor. She's doing really good.
She's pregnant.
She's pregnant again. Her and Jack have moved to Atlanta with Meg. They've got a family, got a house. Everything is good. Everything is fine. So they go back to Dalgonia because again, Anna's mother is there, and she is she's being cared for by a caregiver. And
we were talking about Medicaid payments, committing Medicaid fraud, but that's a whole nother.
But anyway, well, they didn't know at the time. She knew, but they don't know.
They got to get her for Medicaid fraud too. Take it from the system.
So everybody's cool. Everybody's fine. She gets there with her mom. Like you said, Anna is now pregnant. Her and Jack have reconciled. They are committed to take care of Meg, and they're also committed to having this second baby. And they are also taking care of her mother. She has a caregiver in the home. They go home for that weekend to visit the mom. Everything is going good. Anna goes into her room and she finds a letter sitting on the dresser. Anna starts reading this letter, and y'all, this is what we find out. I don't have any sound effects that would
dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, hold on. Let me see if I got a sound effect that would I don't have anything.
She's like, I don't have anything.
Okay.
That's the New York DJ.
Yeah.
Free.
We find out, y'all, that it was Alice the whole damn time.
And you know what? I am not mad because I'd have did the same damn thing, especially at her age. Lock me the hell up.
Let me pull it to you all as it was revealed to us. Remember when I told you that after high school, Anna left and Anna didn't really come back home. And all she had of Anna was her tapes. So, because remember I told you she had a little camcorder and that she had all of these tapes and stuff around the house in a box or something that she looked at. So Alice would go through those tapes one by one because that was her connection to see
her daughter.
Anna.
Now, was this after high school or was this after the kid died and she disappeared?
This was after the kid died.
And she disappeared. The mom started watching the videos.
No, it was... Hold up.
Because remember, she left everybody and everything, like that, the job, the husband. She like literally dropped off the face of the earth.
No, it had to be after, because remember what she said. She left, and then she saw her on TV, and she was able to connect with her on TV.
Okay, got you.
She was able to connect with her on well, no. It was after the baby died. I'm sorry, y'all. It was after the baby died. She said that she was able to connect with her on the TV, but after a while, she wasn't on television. And so she was able to pull through these tapes. She goes through all of Anna's tapes, and she realizes she gets to the last one and she doesn't have any more tapes. She says that she's watching. She goes into Anna's room. She goes through the box, and then she realizes there's a tape in the camcorder. When she sees the tape in the camcorder, that tape is actually what happened that night. And what happened that night is follows. Zoe, Rachel, and Helen lure Anna and Catherine to the birthday party woods area. When they lured them there, they were having a little party and everything like that. Everything was going cool and everything like that. I think that they were drinking and all this other kind of stuff. Anna takes the camcorder and she puts it down. And I don't think Helen and all of them even thought anything about that camcorder being on. Anyways, that camcorder was on and it recorded the essay. First, you see it where they first try it with Catherine. And Catherine was fighting and everything like that. And I don't know if Anna went over there or something like that. I can't remember. But what happened is Catherine gets away and they grab at Anna. And then Anna is because Anna went to go help Catherine. And then when she asked Catherine to help her, Catherine was like,
because Catherine assumed she was in on it.
Right.
Too.
Right.
And that it just worked out that she got away. But she was like, now it's your turn. I'm out.
Yeah. And so she leaves. She runs away. And so the guys were like, well, we're just going to do this to you then, Anna, because you were talking to them and the three girls are sitting over here on, it looked like a bench or a bed or something.
Yeah, and they were just all laying there cuddled up together, smiling and singing happy birthday. Like, who does that?
And Anna is over there screaming and hollering and pleading with them to stop. And Alice sees all of that, what was going on. So Alice was explaining to us, that's when she realized that she needed to get her revenge. She said that with her being a housekeeper, she was invisible. And so nobody paid any attention about anything. And in her letter, she was saying she was already set to get Rachel. And she said, but when she went out to the woods, she realized that Rachel was having sex with Jack. And then you came home and you saw it. And she was like, she said, I was glad that you went away, because then I think, didn't Alice take her shoes off or something happened?
Alice was pretending to have dementia.
Right.
So she took her shoes off. She got butt naked. So that after she did what she did, she would get caught wandering around.
Around. People wouldn't have paid any attention while she was wandering around. So she kills Rachel. And so remember when Priya collected those footprints of a barefoot? They weren't actually Rachel's barefoot. They were Alice's barefoot. Then after she kills Rachel, she goes and she kills Helen in the school. Now, Helen was awful because didn't she almost cut her head?
Yeah.
She does Helen. Now, she was saving Zoe she did Zoe because she said she saw Zoe was laughing and stuff like that. She said something happened to where she was watching television. I think Lexi came on the television and she realized that Lexi was actually Catherine. She said she may have lost the weight, she may have looked but something about her face to Alice said, you can tell that she knew it was Catherine. And she was on her way to kill Lexi, but realized that she wasn't counting on Priya being a crack shot. And so she was like, that was fine. That was fine,
But that was weird to me too, because we find out that Alice is the one that canceled the hotel. Okay, fine. How does she know that that would naturally lead to, oh boy, taking her daughter to the lake house? They could have went
Because
somewhere
she
else.
realized who Lexi was, and she realized who Lexi's husband was Richard.
Right, but like, who's to say they would have went to that house though?
Because Alice worked for Lexi and Catherine and
Right, she
Andrea's
worked, and then she
mom.
worked for the school too, because she had the school
Yes,
keys, she had the
she
people's
knew.
house keys.
She knew that. Well, she made a good assumption that Richard would go there. I don't
Would
didn't.
go there, right? So I'm
Yeah,
like, but what if he decided, oh, you know what? I don't like my in-laws. Let's go to the Super 8 motel off of I-270, off of I-85. You know what I mean? Like,
but that wouldn't have fit in for the story. You know that.
I know, but it just that's the part that kind of threw me. Was like, okay, so she automatically knew. Oh, well, maybe no. Okay, I take that back. She canceled the hotel, but she had been following them all along. Remember?
Yeah, she
So
had been.
she
Yeah,
probably saw when they left the hotel, when they realized their thing got canceled, she followed them to the lake house.
right. Because she
Okay,
was.
right. So she didn't naturally know they would be
Yeah,
there.
she followed
Followed
them to the lake
them.
house, and she knew
Yeah.
that. Yeah, and I think when she followed, remember, because she was skulking about, and she realized that Lexi was there.
Yeah.
She didn't find
Right.
out. Yeah, she was gonna kill. She was gonna kill Lexi whether Anna was there or not. I think is
Right.
what it is.
That was the
I
plan.
Yeah, I think that she
Mm-hmm.
was gonna kill them whether Anna was there or not. But
Right.
she wasn't counting on the fact that Lexi and Anna was going to be fighting the way that they were going to be fighting. I don't think that
Mm-hmm.
she calculated on that. And I don't think that she calculated again that Priya was such a crack shot.
Mm-hmm.
But
But
we
it
find
worked
out.
out because she didn't have to take that one. She didn't have to have that one on her record.
Yeah. And so we
Now
find
it's
out
only
at the
3 counts of murder instead of 4.
right. We find out at the end that it was Alice. And I really wish and I like that as a like a dun dun dun. I like that.
Yeah.
But I think that there should have been some kind of something else instead of it being, I mean, because I can understand why. I really wish that there was somebody else in on something too, like I like the coach. Like
Yeah.
he may have confided into the coach or something, and he was letting her know, like, hey, Rachel is out here again doing all this other, like she's having, not that she was
Yeah.
confiding in him, but it would have been,
He was
it would,
tipping her off or whatever.
yeah, and not knowing that he was tipping her off. Like he was
Mm-hmm.
having conversations with her, he was eating with her, he was something like that, and he was like, these kids keep coming out here and they keep having this
Right.
sex or whatever's going on, and he would tip her out to know that Rachel comes out there, and so she would have known that routine. And then because she was the maid at the school, she could have been talking to somebody saying that, Helen stays late at night. She usually
Mm-hmm.
stays late on this certain day. So we would know, how did she know that she was there? And then all of these other deaths and things like that, I don't know. Just
Yeah. I did like the way that at the end they kind of looked at each other like, I got you. I ain't gonna tell.
yeah, because I would have been like that too. Like, oh, okay, all right.
That's between me and you, mama. Thanks.
Because she realizes her mom, her mother was feeling bad about the fact that the baby died in her care, and it wasn't anything that she was going to be able to do. The baby died in her care. But yeah, at the end, I like the series. I'm just going to give my conclusion and my summary right now. I like the series. I think that they had enough to put more depth to it. I'm wondering, I'm curious now about how the book read, because usually when I watch any of those British psychological thrillers, they usually, it's not about the blood and the gore. It's more about the psychological depth
the
of what's going on.
side of it. Yeah.
And so
was Gone Girl, was that another British one? Have you seen Gone Girl?
I gotta look and see, because I'll watch stuff and not know that.
That's another one with Ben Affleck and that Rosamund. What's her name? Rosamund something. She British. The actress is British, but she played an American. You got to watch that too if you didn't, because that one pissed me off so damn bad. Oh, and it reminds me of a certain certain couple. So yeah,
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 that's
he
when his.
definitely.
Okay,
Um,
I think I've seen it. If it's the same thing about his wife gone missing or something like that.
yeah, and they tried to say he did it, but
Okay.
then it turns out he's cheating, and they got some kind of sociopathic love-hate relationship going. And even though I think he has enough to get her arrested, he doesn't, and he just stays in the relationship and lets her continue to torture him.
Okay. I don't know. I have to go back and look it
It
up.
was very weird. It was a very weird dynamic because he had everything he needed to get rid of her, and he just would not.
Hmm.
He would not. And it was like she got kicks out of messing with him and messing with his mind, and they get back, and then he would do something to her, she would do something to him. It was just this real toxic, weird dynamic. And so it got to the point where the you doing this to me and me doing this to you wasn't enough. And so then she staged getting taken and raped and everything else.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I
it
have
was
to
a
watch it.
whole.
Don't tell me no more. I'll watch.
Okay,
I'll
yeah, it
watch
was a
it.
whole thing.
Yeah, I just think like I said, it was a great premise. It did keep you. I don't honestly think that you needed 6 episodes, but I guess for Netflix, you needed the 6 episodes.
I honestly was surprised it was that short. You said for the Netflix contract, you need at least 6.
You need at least 6 episodes. So I can see that. I wish that everybody that you saw on the screen that was considered to be important to the show, I wish that they were firmly fleshed out.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think Zoe should have been fleshed out a little bit more. We did know that she was, she was whoring around the town as the sister because she didn't know who Meg's daddy's was. But I think that we should have known about her being, they they showed that she was a drunk. I think at some point that we should have seen that part of her, and we should have
Mm-hmm.
seen how she could be like a little mean to the people who she's going out with or something, just being just a little ugly.
Yeah, because I didn't see that coming at all. I didn't even see her as being one of the cool girls, and I'm trying to figure out, did they ever say what made her turn into the bum of the town versus everybody else?
No, and that's why
She
I'm
didn't
saying.
experience any trauma that she should have been like that.
Yeah, that's why I was saying that they didn't flesh it. Nothing. They didn't flesh her out to me. Jack and Anna, in my opinion, should have been fleshed out a little bit more, so that because
Mm-hmm.
it didn't make any sense to me other than the fact that he slept with Rachel. Why was it so important? Why was it so important? Because if he's the type of cop that I think he is, it would have been like, hey, I don't want to do in this investigation or anything like that. But I guess because I don't know. It just the
Well,
startup.
he took a vested interest in it because the majority. Oh, that's what it was. Priya went after him when she finally got the cell phone records and saw all those calls coming from him. So that's what made him go after him and try to arrest him.
Because remember, he was in the phone. He sent the eggplant pics.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was a lot. All the calls the night she died was from him.
Okay. Okay.
So that's the only reason why he was vested in it, because he knew that it would if he would have let it go like it was supposed to go, he would have been the suspect.
Yeah. I think that Alice's dementia. Alice's I think that Alice should, like I said, I really wish that they would have fleshed her out a little bit so that it would have been like, oh damn, they shouldn't have had to tell us a story. The flashback should have been flashing. We should have seen flashbacks from Catherine's perspective all the time. We should have seen flashbacks from Anna's perspective, and it should have inched in every time we seen a flashback. We should have learned just a little piece more. I don't think that we should have gotten that story behind, like, oh, this is why Alice did it. It reminded me of Scooby-Doo, like, oh, we unveil.
Yeah, pull the mask off. Is that you, Dr. Doolittle?
Yeah, I think that should have been, in my opinion, I think that should have gone, and I think that it should have been. the way they presented it, for as dark as it didn't present like it was dark. It
Right.
almost it wasn't like a comedy, but there should have been a little bit more darkness behind it. Like we should have seen that Jack in Atlanta had done some stuff and everything like
Mhm.
that, and he's in Dalgonia because he's been pretty much
Delanaga.
Dahlonega. What do I keep saying? Dalgonia. He's in
Dalgonia,
he's in
Transylvania. I'm like, who the hell?
Yeah, he's in Dahlonega because you know let's just say that he did something that he shouldn't have done, and so he's trying to prove himself, and then he gets himself in a lot of trouble because he's sleeping
Right,
with Rachel, then Rachel dies. It's a whole lot of stuff. Then Priya would make better sense. Priya would be
right.
it would be like, hey, we need you to come in because we need to make sure that this investigation goes this way. And Priya
Mhm.
comes in, so her nosiness, her ability to go through the thing, to me would make better sense because of the fact that she's going through this investigation. She's going to be the straight horse, and she realizes that her partner is not going to be straight horse. And I wish that there
Mhm.
was call outs instead of her just asking the question. And
And assuming things and jumping
yeah,
to conclusions and
I think that
yeah.
I think, and also too, I really wish instead of it been like her being green and him being a thing, I wish that they would have been like on a sort of equal
Peers, yeah,
footing,
more on the same level.
that they're partners, and that she's like, oh, okay, because she's coming from a situation where she couldn't get the promotion, and this was the only place that she could get the promotion, and he's coming in as pretty much like a demotion or something like that. So they're
Right.
coming into two different perspectives, and they are or they could have had her come in as somebody who was internal affairs, and in the place
Mhm.
that she was living at, you know something happened because she was internal and nobody trusted her, so she can't had to
Right.
come here. And then he was like, well, you got this background, just keep an eye out on what's going on and you report to me. It would have been that would have been
It flushed it out a little more.
just a little bit more. I would have loved to have seen that.
Mhm.
Again, I would have loved to have seen that, because I would have loved for them to say, Alice is this member of society, and people love Alice, but they know Alice is a little, she's a little forgetful, she's a little this, she's a little, she knows she's not forgetful, but she has played because of the fact that in her grief from her granddaughter dying, and then her daughter not
Mhm.
talking to her, that would have played all the way in. She could have had a relationship with the coach, because the
Mhm.
coach is out here in the graveyard, and he was somebody that she could talk to, that she missed her daughter because she's going to the grave. The coach sees her going to the grave, he invites her back in, they have some tea, because I'm quite sure
Mhm.
in the book they have a cuppa. And
Yeah, a cup of tea, a spot of tea.
yeah, and
Um,
I really wish that. And then I think we should have known why Anna was gone from her news desk a job right off the bat. We should
right.
have known. So that little part where they're out, where they, mama's with the baby and they don't go to the baby, that should have been the first episode of this. That should have been the first scene in the show. So we can understand that, hey, something happened to where now Jack is down in what's the name? Dahlonega.
Delanaga, up in Delanaga.
Yeah, she's up in Dahlonega, and then
Yeah,
she's just falling off the map wherever she's at. So it
right.
that would have let that would have lended to the show being a little darker to me, because
Yeah.
we would have been in her situation where she was more of a depression. So when she went back to the news desk and she asked for the girl's husband or something like that, we should have we should have had a feeling, or the newscaster with the editor of the news thing would have said, you and Lexi have been going back and forth for so long. Why, you know better than to ask for her husband. And then she's like, well, whatever. Da, 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 da.
Right.
Those
And
things
she
would have
did she did
weaved.
that on purpose, and I probably would have
Yeah.
did the same thing, so
I just think that just
like I
adding
said,
those.
like I told you, sometimes all you got is coochie. And it's the gift that keeps on giving.
I know. And so I,
It's
I
free
just think
too.
that, yeah, I just think that would have because you had 6 episodes. Uh,
Right.
I think that you wasted your time with episode 3, the anchor's desk, about her returning to thing. That was something that really should have just been a blip, and everything else should have been about the murders and you finding more
Mhm.
information about Helen. You finding more information about that. That could have been neat, and that could have been another episode for Priya to be sitting with the Look, I think that there's some stuff going on, and even to the point that they should have been pinging for that phone.
Yeah, that part, yeah, I was real confused about that because I'm like, it's present day. So let's say 20. They said 20 years. I counted about 25. So I guess it was 2005. So it's 20 years into the future. So it's 2025, and y'all can't find that phone. It took for him to discover it in the crease of his damn pickup truck seat.
Right. You know, like I said, you're what? You're a year out from the girl's death, the baby, the initial
baby's death.
Charlotte. You're a year out. So you're in present time because you've been pinging for phones since 2012, isn't it?
You can longer than that because I watch those true crime shows all the time, and they've been pinging phones since they became a thing.
Because I can't even remember how he got now. I can't even remember. Oh, the phone was in his truck.
That's it was in the crease in the side of the seat. Right, and when that husband kept calling it, he heard it vibrating, and that's when he found it in the side of his seat. Because remember, they were having sex in his truck the night she got killed.
And he was so dumb because all he had to do was take the damn phone and throw it in the woods.
Right. But for some reason, days went by and nobody knew where the phone was.
Yeah, he could have. That was, and like I said,
husband could have called T-Mobile or whoever they got and been like, "Yo, could you find my wife's phone, please?"
Right. That didn't make any sense, and just the husband to continue to call the phone. The excuse of he keeps calling because he wants to run the battery out.
Okay, but you can plug the shit in once you find it.
Yes, because
and the new iPhones, even if it's off, it'll still track.
And like you said, Priya was so preoccupied with all this other stuff. She should have called back earlier in regards to the phone, and he wouldn't have had an opportunity to cancel because she'd have kept calling, and she would have gotten because with some of these detective shows, what is it? What was my favorite one? CSI. The original CSI, they had an episode where, you know how you have your phone on you and it calculates the steps that you take?
Yeah.
Well, they put in a situation where the killer had his phone on him, and they used some kind of program to extrapolate the movements that he was making.
Really?
Yes, they did.
Now I know my watch will do that. Like I don't do it because I won't remember to turn it off and it'll have me working out for 10 hours. But my phone, my watch, sometimes if I do too many at the same, so let's say I'm doing bicep curls or lat pull downs. If I'm doing it too much, it'll automatically detect that I'm working out. They don't know what I'm doing. They just know it's a repetitive motion. So it'll say, but then it'll stop. It'll say workout.
Yeah, because the CSI show, the CS that was doing that, they were going through their health. They were going through that, the health, whatever it is in the health part, and they were able to move, to show the movements or whatever it was
he was making.
Yeah, so
I don't know if the technology work like that because you literally have to engage it. You have to go start.
Like I said, they use some kind of mathematical thing to show. Which
I hate them shows, and it's always the stereotypical that they got to have glasses, they got to have purple and orange hair, they got to come off a little neurospicy, they got to, you know what I'm saying? It's like every show like that has that one computer geek sitting in the lab with the glasses, the two ponytails, they act a little off. You know what I mean? I'm just like, can we mix it up a little bit? Can we get a hot, sexy, built up chocolate black man that just happens to be a computer geek that's not neurospicy?
No, they won't do that. So She Reigns Beauty says he kept giving her BS leads, and she had the footprints that matched his plus the phone records. Okay, because remember when we asked about when they had that little meeting and stuff like that, because she was giving him thing, and she knew that she had the shoes. Because didn't he go to the store and buy some more shoes, and that's when he ran into Richard? Richard was buying the zip ties and the hammer and something else Richard was buying, because I couldn't figure out why Richard was buying those things. And then looked like he had like a pair of shoes and some candy.
Yeah, that's why I thought that they set her up when they went to that lake house. I don't know. mean, it was too much going on, but it never came to nothing. And then they arrested Richard. Why did they arrest Richard? When he was
Because
locked behind the thing.
they didn't arrest him. They wanted to take him in for questionings or something.
Yeah, and he was like, I didn't do shit or something. And then it was.
Oh, you're talking about when they were at the
when his wife
boathouse?
got killed. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they thought that he had something to do with that whole setup and all the murders and stuff like that. They thought because I'm quite sure they found some things about Lexi, because Lexi was in
because she died with the town thinking it was her.
Right. And so they thought, so I don't know I don't know if Richard had done something else or anything, like I don't know what it was, but Richard's gone.
What did he do?
He was, he wasn't as germane of the case that he could have been. I think that they should have had it on there that Richard had slept with Rachel at one time. So how they were talking about where they found that odd guy out of town that said that he took him to the place. I think at some point or anything like that, they should have been looking back into the records and realized that Richard had slept with her.
Right.
I think that they could have had so many people that could have slept with Rachel that it should have muddied the waters. It shouldn't have been this A, B, C, D, E, F, G. It should have been A squared plus B squared equals C squared minus D squared. I don't know. But anyway.
Yeah, it was just a lot. Yeah. I mean,
I'm gonna let you go first. What are your final thoughts on His and Hers?
I mean, like, all the little plot holes that we found, because we have to ruin it with that. But that was a woman after my own heart. I don't know if I could have kept it a secret as long as she did, but I think the way that it culminated and the way that the reveal, it was smooth. She was smooth with it, and the fact that I'm torn in terms of the whole the relationship dynamic with the two of them. I don't know. I'm wondering if it was less retribution and more, what's the right word? Less retribution against the girls and more of her trying to, trying to
connect
win
with
her daughter back.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm kind of torn between them. I don't want to say I'm torn with her motive behind doing it, but I feel like
that
it
was very
more
clear.
her trying to win her daughter back than it was her killing those girls because she was, Yeah,
and I think that should have that you're right. I think
because that knowing glance that they gave each other at the end.
Right.
I don't think that the daughter was necessarily giving her that glance because she was happy she killed the girls. I don't think she wanted them people dead.
No, because she was going to have to, because she was going to have to stand and account for the fact that her mother killed Meg's mom.
Mm-hmm.
And now that they're raising Meg, you see what I'm saying?
Right.
So that was that. I think that it should have been a point where somewhere in there we should have seen Alice trying to connect with Anna. Not that Anna just like Anna disappeared, but we should have seen Anna not just reading the tapes, but we should have seen Anna calling her phone. I mean, Alice calling Anna's phone and saying, I love you, and all of these little different things. Come home and we're going to talk and we're going to have all of these little things.
I don't think any of that would have worked. That's what I'm saying. So it was kind of like, all right, ain't nothing I'm doing working. So maybe I got to kill these bitches so that she would.
Yeah, or something should have happened to make her come home instead of this murder in, what is it?
Right.
I'm saying Dahlonega. I think that something, I think that because where Jack was handling the instances of her being her dementia, I think that there should have been I just think Anna being so inaccessible for a year was a plot hole.
Yeah.
Because it should have just been that she just wasn't going to call them back. She just wasn't going to do anything. It should have been something that he knew where she was and he'd go and try to talk to her and she'd talk to the door, just leave me alone. Right. It should have been, because her being so inaccessible it it just needed her just that little bit of accessibility. I think it should have been. I can
Yeah.
understand her at one point that she had some access. She was able to access. Alice was able to access Anna, but only very briefly. And because it was so brief, her grief sent her, oh, okay, I'm gonna go to the tapes.
Yeah.
And then, that would have made more sense to me. That she tried and tried and tried. She sent her letters. She did all these little different things. We should have seen. Maybe that's what she got rid of. We should have seen piles of letters from her mom. We should have seen a divorce. I don't know. I just wish that Anna's incestibility,
disappearance. Yeah.
it wouldn't have been like a complete disappearance.
Well,
And
to give you context, Dahlonega is about an hour and a half from Atlanta. So it's not exactly close. So it's easy to disappear because even if you didn't disappear, nobody's driving that far to come see you. So
so that's a real look at it. See?
It's a real town. I told you I lived in Atlanta for 8 years. Yeah, that's why I know how to pronounce it. Because it's even though it's far, it's considered the Atlanta metro still. So I guess I'm trying to think for Tampa, for the context of Tampa. Like I live 40 minutes from the center of Tampa. So, and then there's a town a little further out than me that's an hour full from Tampa, but we still get the same Tampa news, same Tampa. So there's a town 30 minutes north of me that's called Spring Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's a full hour and 15 minutes from Tampa Airport, it's still considered Tampa Bay. So you still get the Tampa news, still get the Tampa radio stations. Same thing with Dahlonega in relation to Atlanta proper. It's an hour and 15 minutes from the main Atlanta, but you still getting, because it's straight up, was that 85, I think?
Mm-hmm.
Still getting the Atlanta news, the Atlanta radio stations, the Atlanta everything. So nobody driving that far though. So even if they were on good terms, I don't think they would have had too many visits between.
Right, because it's what 70 something miles, yeah, and she's older, but that shouldn't have.
Well, she reigns beauty. I didn't even notice that.
What did she say?
I didn't even notice it because what threw me off, she reigns, is that their letter started being read when the girl killed her sister. Remember? When was it? Is that her name, Catherine? I'm so bad with names. When the heavyset girl killed her sister, that you hear them reading the letter from the beginning then too. Because that's why we thought it was her that. Remember?
Are you talking about? Because she sat down and read the letter.
No, what I'm saying is, before we even realized the mom was the killer, and they flash back to the scene. Is that that's her name, Catherine, the heavyset girl?
Mm-hmm. Catherine,
Catherine was in the kitchen with her sister, and her sister called her fat and ran out to get on the boat. And she was like, "Oh, bring my inhaler because I forgot it." So you hear the letter being read then. That first sentence when she says you have to do things right, including murder or something like that. And so then she's sitting there with the asthma pump, pumping all of the sprays out of it.
Oh, so that's how she killed her sister. She
exhausted all the albuterol or whatever it is. I don't know which one it was.
Damn.
But she pumped it all out. So the sister had an asthma attack on the boat and they didn't have her pump.
That's why I couldn't figure out, because I was like, when you said she killed her, I was like, how did she kill her? She had the thing, but she pumped out.
Yeah, she sat there in the kitchen pumping all the pumps out, and then she started walking toward the boat, and she was still pumping all the pumps out, because you only get about 90 sprays per pump. And she sat there pumping all the pumps out, and by the time she got to the boat, it just so happened her sister had an asthma attack, and they didn't have the inhaler.
And by the time she got back to the shore, she was just gone.
So yeah, so then she killed her, and then she kind of basically she started running marathons, lost weight, dyed her hair, and turned into Lexi. But that's when you first hear the first two lines of the letter. So that's why I thought it was her that did it. And then it turns out it was the mom.
Well, maybe because they needed for us to see that. We needed to see what Catherine, we needed to see how Catherine turned into Lexi. Because
Right.
her parents are dead. The parents died.
Did they?
That's what I thought, that the parents were dead. That's why they weren't around. They weren't in the boathouse.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't. I just figured it was just a vacation home. You know how they have houses they don't even live in.
No, they grew up. Yeah, they grew up in Delgonia. They grew
the
up.
Loniga. She's like Delgonia. Doo, doo, doo. Now that sounds like a
yeah. They grew because they went to school there. So her parents weren't there at the house. So apparently, I was assuming that they
they died. Yeah, I just figured it became a vacation home and they lived somewhere else because they were too old to maintain all that.
I thought that they had passed. I thought that they had passed away because now y'all let me know down in the comments, because I was thinking, because of the fact that when Priya was investigating, the only thing that they came up was with Andrea, and she had died. And I could have sworn she said, and the parents were dead.
Oh yeah, I didn't pay attention to that.
I didn't pay attention, but I'm okay.
Yeah, because you know me, I was just trying to figure out who did it and why he brought her to that house.
Right.
Because I thought his wife was in on it.
Yeah. All right, people. We do this every week. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this video if you care. What did y'all think about His and Her? Y'all give y'all comments below down in the comments. And y'all please tell a friend, tell a kin, tell a coworker, tell
that Lexi at work that you don't like. And sleep with her husband for some razzle dazzle.
Oh God, no!
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Tell that heifer that you can't stand that I'm over here making these videos. And as always, people, bye-bye.
Bye.